And we're with you once more on the Phil Taylor Jones Show. Today's focus is money and politics. I'm Phil Taylor Jones, your host, and we're going to jump into this massive money pit right now. You know, I got to thinking the other day of exactly how much money is floating around in this thing. They talk about millions of dollars here and billions of dollars there. And you look at the positions of the American people, and they're kind of low. We've got so many people that are in the middle class, but now the middle class isn't what it used to be. It's the lower middle class, and the upper middle class. And then you think of all the people that haven't even reached that echelon yet, and the numbers are just horrifying. Yet these politicians spend all of this money to become richer while we get poorer. Then you think of what's going on in this political scuffle, or whatever you wish to call it. It's shameful. You got people fabricating things, you got people lying about things, you got people trying to defend themselves, you've got plants being put into different venues. It's horrifying, is what it is. You look at Donald Trump. The poor man is going through all kinds of stuff now. They're fabricating. They even had one woman. She was Heil Hitler. I mean, come on. That was just as much of a plant as a geranium you put in your backyard. The guy rushed the stage in Ohio, stomping on the flag, chanting different things, and all kinds of just crazy stuff to discredit this man. Slithery Clinton, she's going around making major faux pas about what the Reagans did or didn't do, and then having to go back and clean up her mess. This lying Weasley, Rafael Cruz, and Marco Rubio, and John Kasich, who's taken lots of money from the Koch brothers, from Soros. And while we're on the subject, that larcenous bastard, Soros, George, wanting to put up $15 million to get rid of Trump. I mean, where does it end? I myself will be so glad when this crap is over with, because not only is it very disappointing to me, and I'm sure many of you out there as American citizens, but it's just very depressing to see how low humanity has sunk, how horrible this society has become, that you can't even run a simple political campaign anymore without it being, without it being a circus. And I don't mean a circus in a good way. I mean, it's very depressing. You get a person who makes some statements, and then you get the news media just rip him apart, telling untruths, spreading, they're talking out the sides of their neck with these half-truths that they're saying. Oh, well, Donald Trump said that all Mexicans are rapists and murderers. Oh, he said that he wants to ban all Muslims from coming to the United States. That's just like saying, oh, well, to bake a cake, all you need is flour and sugar. I think you need a few more ingredients, a little butter, a little milk, maybe an egg or two, may help out if you're baking it from scratch, maybe a little baking powder, little vanilla flavoring to give it some kind of taste, or a little lemon, or what have you. Give the full recipe. Don't give, oh, you just need milk and sugar. Flour and sugar. Well, you're going to have a dry mess in the oven if you try to bake a cake that way. Give the full recipe. Tell what the man fully said. If you have to leave off something to make the story truthful, then do that. But they don't want to do that. And it's just ridiculous. Bernie Sanders just perpetuated the firestorm. Oh, he says he wants to pay the legal fees of the guy that did it. Well, I believe the guy that did it was a plant. Because, I mean, I know that there's some stupid people in this world. But to get on national television and say that, yeah, I was glad to hit him. Yeah, he shut him up his big mouth. And yeah, next time, you may have to kill him. Doesn't this fool know that if that fella stubs a toe, let alone comes up dead, that they're going to knock on his door because he espoused that stuff on not only national television, but international telly? Because this thing is watched globally. That had to be a plan. I would like to think nobody would be that stupid. And while Bernie Sanders was saying that what Trump did in offering to pay for the man's legal fees was just an atrocity and that he should, dial it back big time, never once did I hear him defend himself, saying that he did not send those people to that Chicago rally to start trouble. It's just ridiculous that all of this money is being spent for this freak show. If I had just 10% of the money spent for advertisements for these political muckety-mucks or political muckety-muck wannabes for tomorrow's event, I could probably buy a brand new house in Beverly Hills, a new car, get a puppy and have enough money to feed him for the next 10 years, and probably take a trip to some, wonderful place like Hawaii, or I don't want to go to Greece anymore because it's messed up. I used to want to go to Santorini, but I don't want to go towards Greece. So I'll stay here in the United States, go to Hawaii, or go up to, Yosemite National Forest or something. But I mean, it's just ridiculous. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer, and seemingly the rich get stupider. Because having all that money, doesn't help matters. Now, Bernie Sanders touts that he got his from personal contribution. He doesn't have any super PACs. He doesn't have any. I don't care about your super PACs, Bernie. You still got millions of dollars that you're doing what with? You're launching ads against Hillary Clinton. She's launching ads against you. The Koch brothers are in it. The Soros guy is in it. Just money flying all over the place. Money, 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 money. And what's going to be the end result? Are we still going to get somebody in there like old bastard who doesn't give a fat rat's ass about us? Are we going to get somebody in there like old bastard who does nothing and let things stagnate and maybe not even stagnate, but get worse? Are we going to get somebody in there who's going to further their own cause by letting foreigners further take over what's left of the country? Today on telly, I was watching a program. They had two commentators on there talking about what went on in Ohio and what went on in Chicago regarding Trump's rallies. Were they American citizens? Were they American people? No, they were foreigners. One was a Muslim and one was Hispanic. That's what's taken over the country, foreigners. And that's why they're probably, more than likely, so against Trump. Because, the guy is up there talking about he wants to put the kibosh on it, but I think it's too late. They're already here. To add insult to injury, Obasker's bringing these people in and setting them up with housing. He can do it because guess what I found out? The head of the housing urban development, the housing authority, is a foreigner. They're in key positions in our government. They're screwing up our government. And this is a firestorm that I don't think the best fireman in the world couldn't put it out. But the guy wants to at least maybe slow it down a little bit. But at this point, I'm believing that it's an ant standing on the railroad track trying to stop a freight train. It ain't going to happen. Partially, mostly because American people won't allow it to happen. I looked at those protesters out there. Yeah, there were a lot of foreigners out there, but there were many more Americans protesting against an American person. The things that are being said about Ben Carson are just ridiculous. Ridiculous. American citizens verbally attacking American citizens. And you call for a better America? Slithery Clinton, you claim that America is already great, it just needs to be whole again. All these politically bought phrases and slogans and all of this stuff, and I see nothing. I see no change. Political aspirations in this country, along with the political system in this country, seem to be a joke that isn't funny. It's tragic. Tragic. So there again, if your gut tells you to go and vote for the Trump man, go vote for the Trump man. Don't matter what these idiots say. Don't matter what they put on TV. It's too neat. Too neat. You mean to tell me that the people that go to Slithery Clinton's rallies, the people that go to Bernie Sanders' rallies, the people that go to Rafael Cruz's rallies, Marco Rubio's, John Kasich, there has never been any kind of violence. So they're not passionate about their country. They don't love their country. There's never any violence of any type. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Because I ain't buying it. There's no scuffle. Somebody didn't go there and say, Hillary Clinton, you're a crook, you're a liar. And somebody who fervently supports her didn't say, you're a liar, get him out of here. And there wasn't a scuffle that ensued. You're trying to tell me that Mr. Bernie Sanders, who everybody seems to love across the board, that somebody hasn't gone in there and said, you're a fake, you're a fraud, your socialism is a bunch of crap, you're not going to make it, you're going to steal from us like everybody else. And nobody takes offense to that. Oh, everybody's just so religious. Oh, we just turn the other cheek and we pray for that person because they know not what they do. Bernie is a good man. The hell you say. There are skirmishes and there is probably just as much violence in their campaigns as it is in Trump's, but it's not publicized. Why? Because Slithery and Bernie are both ludicrous liberal lunatics, and that's who controls the media. I was looking at Telly again, and it sort of slipped my mind what was going on, but it was something against Trump. Oh, it was this female reporter that works for Breitbart. She claims that Trump supporters or one of his head people grabbed her arm and hurled her to the floor, and she was showing the marks that he put on her, and she's suing him and all of this garbage. And who was happy to tell that story? She was beaming. None other than Fox's own Megan Smelly. You tell me there's some kind of conspiracy going on? I mean, I don't care if you like Trump or not. That's up to you. I'm not telling you who to vote for. All I'm saying is, if you so feel inclined to vote for the Trump man, and if that's what your gut's telling you to do, then follow your gut. But you gotta know that this stuff that they're trying to perpetrate against the man, it's too neat. It doesn't pass the smell test. Every damn day, there's something about Trump that is not only negative, but horribly negative. And I find that negative. Because I've been on this planet for quite a long time. I've traveled the world. I think I'm a pretty good judge of human nature and how it kind of comes down the pike. And nobody is 100% right and nobody is 100% wrong. As I alluded to before, even a broken clock can be right twice a day. So judge it for yourself. Donald Trump, the worst something that ever was born to planet Earth, or somebody telling a damn lie? That's all I got to say on the subject, and I'll turn it over to the exec because I know he had something he wanted to put in there.
You know, I'll start off with a variation of a saying on a very well-known movie, Frank Capra's It's a Wonderful Life, when James Stewart is talking to Donna Reed and this gentleman in the house that they were throwing the rocks at, or were going to throw the rocks at, mentioned, well, why don't you kiss her instead of talking to her to death? And he said, how's that? And he repeated himself. And then he said, oh, youth is wasted on the wrong people. And my variation being, oh, money is wasted on the wrong people. You know, all this money being spent on, hate trails or hate campaigns against the other party, and all these negative ads and everything, and getting all these protesters there is just, money spent wrongly. None of those people that's doing the political thing right now, except for Donald Trump, has actually done something positive for anybody in this country during their campaign trail. And I'm alluding to that benefit he did when he didn't want to be bothered with making smelly and raise money for veterans. He spent some of his money to make more money for them. Now, if any of these other people in the campaign would actually use their money wisely and try to do something for Americans and prove that they got the right thing, I kind of messed up there. They have the right mind for the American people. They want to do right by them. Then they would do something to benefit Americans. Like I said, Donald Trump, as they usually say on the stage, is the only person here that's actually done something to help Americans. So their money is being wasted. They don't deserve that money if they don't know how to use it. You prove to people what your plan is, that you want to try to improve America, get some money out there to try to do a venue for veterans, to try to help homeless people, to anything like that. It's just ridiculous how crazy they go and spend money, tons of money, just to mess people up. And how's that helping Americans? How's that proving that you could do a better job than the other ones by how much you can smear someone's face on the ground? It's just insane. Like I said in the last show, the great lengths people go to try to mess someone up. And that's, I guess, all I can think of right now. Pretty much, I'll send it right back to you.
I think of, if you're going to dig a hole, for me, that you remember what Nan used to say, you dig a hole, you better dig two, because you may fall in that other one yourself. So you look at Marco Rubio, you look at Rafael Cruz, you look at, well, like I said, Kasich, he tries to be sneaky with his, but he's just as much a devil as them other two. But all three of them, they're trying to dig a hole for Trump. Well, if people really had their thinking caps on, then you would say, well, I'm looking at you. You're talking about this guy over here like a dog, but I'm looking at you dogging him. What does that tell me about you, Cruz? What does that tell me about you, Rubio? What does that tell me about you, Kasich? You're so busy trying to dog him that you're smoking up your own aura over there. But people today, I don't know about some people. They just walk blindly into something and know that it is tragic, but they'll just, like they got blinders on. If the directions say take 5 steps forward and 4 steps to the left, indicative of the fact that there's a cliff there that's like 4,000 feet deep, and you're going to just walk into certain depth, they'll just blindly go over there and do it. Instead of thinking, well, hey, I'm looking over there and I don't see any further ground going out. All I see is just over in there. So I'm going to take me 10 steps forward and take 8 steps to the right, because I can see land over there. It's like they drank the Kool-Aid and then put a bag over their face on top of that and just go blindly into that good night, and it's just crazy. So, like I said, it's not my position, ladies and gentlemen, to tell you which way to vote, whether to vote Republican or Democrat, to vote for this candidate or that candidate. All I'm saying is that since Trump is the name of the game here, and if you support the man, if you like what he's saying, and if you truly believe that he's out there to try to do something for the country, knowing that man isn't perfect, and we're not looking for perfection, but we're looking for something a little better than what we got. And the other thing that surprises me about these people, how fickle and hypocritical they can be. Now, they're so gung-ho about somebody that can get in there and kick ass. Okay, well, the man is showing that he's not a lay down, take it kind of person, that, if pushed, he can. And now they're turned against that. Oh, this is terrible. He's doing violence. Oh, he's promoting violence. It's a sad dog that won't hold up his own tail. If you take a little puppy and you keep jabbing at him and poking at him and prodding at him. Yeah, he's going to whimper a little bit, but sooner or later the little thing is going to get mad. He's going to come back out barking and biting, even though it's a puppy. So what do you think about a man? This man is being pummeled and dogged out and ragged out all the time. Okay, so he got mad. I'd probably get mad too, wouldn't you? So like I said, if you are so inclined to, vote for the Trump man and support him, follow your gut and please do that. But please keep an open mind, and better yet, open eyes and ears, because these news whores, I know a lot of, different aspects or facets are coming to the forefront as far as what's going on with the downing of Trump. But these news whores are perpetuating it. They like tailor make these broadcasts. They tailor make the sound bites and the little video clips and things that you hear and see or read. And it's evident, it's as plain as the nose on Jimmy Durante's face. And I know a lot of young folks out there don't have a clue as who Jimmy Durante is, but Google it. Google him and you'll see what I mean about being as plain as the nose on his face. We thank you very much for joining us, and circle us on Google Plus. Subscribe to us. The button is right there, and we look forward to seeing you again on the Phil Taylor Jones Show. Bye-bye.